Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Good to have you with us on this Tuesday, the 3rd of May. Hard to believe we're already in May. Summer is almost upon us. I know if you go outside, at least for the next week, they say it's going to feel like summer here in Houston, but what's new? It felt like summer back in December. We had some close to 90-degree days then, but here we are in May. Graduation coming up as well. A lot of big things happening here at HCC. We've got a great show lined up for you. It's Tasty Tuesday. Got a special guest there. But first, my co-host this morning, Dr. Tony Reyes Sutherland, joining me from the HCCTV studios. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, you don't know real summer until it gets close to 100, or when they say it feels like 110, then that's real summer. And
that's
we know
real
that
summer. Yeah, that happens in July, August, September. I think there was a few years back where we had, I want to say, close to 100 days where we were topping or closing in on 100 degrees. And that was, I remember that was a very brutal summer. Looks like this one could be a warm one as well, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hey, thanks to those of you watching us on Facebook and YouTube. We're here every morning at 10 a.m. live. You can catch us here. Catch the rebroadcast on HCCTV at 5 or at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. And Tony, they can always find us in social media.
Yes, but you have to look for Houston Community College District. Don't just go for HCC, because there's a lot of them out there. Just go for Houston Community College District, and then you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all over the place.
All over the place. All right, Tony. So we've got a great show coming up. You're going to be talking with this next guest. We've got Katherine Rhodes Fields, the Division Chair of Visual Arts and Media, Visual and Performing Arts Center of Excellence. Good morning to you, Katherine. Always good. Yeah, always good to see you. We're looking forward to hearing from you about some programs you guys have going on. So stick around. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to kick things off. It is Tasty Tuesday. We're going to take you out to Picos. We've got Chief Marketing Officer, Beverage Director, Arnaldo Richards Picos, Tasty Tuesday guest. We've got Monica Richards joined us. Monica, good to see you.
Great to see you as well. Good morning.
So we've got a big event coming up, and I know for your restaurant, it is huge. Cinco de Mayo. It's coming up right, I want to say a couple of days away. Tell us, you guys, obviously this is a big day for you. You have a lot of big events planned.
Absolutely. We do something called Fiesta Under the Big Top. So we set up an entire parking lot party. It takes up about a third of our 99 parking spot parking lot. And it's tented. There are food stations, live mariachi, DJ, and of course, an incredible bar.
So do people take off on Cinco de Mayo like St. Patrick's Day? One thing I always noticed on St. Patrick's Day, you always wonder, what is going on? Do these people work, because everybody seems to get out around noon. Maybe they don't go back to work. Is that kind of the same thing that happens on Cinco de Mayo?
Thankfully for us, yes. We live in a state where people, this is a holiday that they love to celebrate, and it's very beneficial on both ends. They have a great time, and then, the restaurant makes really good sales.
I would imagine so. I've always been a fan of the ceviches you guys have. Is that still a big thing on your menu?
Absolutely. And one of the things that makes ours special is that we do not actually parboil the seafood before it goes in the citrus. It's actually naturally cooked in our citrus. So it really makes a difference.
I'm a big ceviche fan, and I know you've got a number of different types. It's always hard for me to pick just one. What do you usually suggest to customers that come in and say, I don't know which one to get?
I like to suggest the vuelve a la vida, which means basically to come back to life. And it's going to have more of a Campechano-based sauce, and you're going to find things like clams, mussels, oysters in there, shrimp, our fresh snapper. So you really get the best of all of the worlds, and it's a great time.
And you mentioned something real important, because a lot of restaurants do boil some of the seafood before they put it into ceviche. But traditional ceviche, the kind I like, is where it is actually cooked with the lemon juice. Maybe you can explain real briefly that process.
The acidity, because seafood is so delicate, the acidity level of limes and lemons lend the chemical component to have it naturally cook itself.
Right. And what's a good drink to pair with a ceviche?
Ooh, a margarita or a fresh paloma.
Okay, and I think you're going to make a couple of those today. Let's start talking about margaritas. You can't have a margarita without tequila. It's just not a margarita. Let's talk about the tequila. Is it produced all over Mexico?
It's not produced all over Mexico. There's actually a denomination of origin that belongs to Mexico itself. So there's going to be 5 producing states, and most of them are going to be on the Pacific central side of the country.
And what tequila do you guys usually suggest, or what's your preferred?
We have a lot of different partnerships that we've built over the years with different companies when we've gone in to do private barrels. I mean, honestly, as long as the tequila is 100% agave, you really can't go wrong.
Okay. And you're going to make the margarita now? What do you got going?
Oh, yeah. So we're going to put in 1.5 ounces of tequila, 1.5 ounces of a lime juice and agave blend. And generally the ratio is going to be a 1 ounce to ½ ounce agave in that mix. And then 1 ounce of the Cointreau. So it's super simple, very clean. And you just shake it up.
Now the agave how is that different than tequila?
Well, the agave nectar is going to be a sugar that the agave plant, a sweetening agent that the agave plant naturally produces.
Okay.
So it has a lower glycemic index. It's great to mix in a drink, and it tastes delicious.
And you could also mix agave in non-alcoholic drinks too, can't you?
Absolutely. I love it in iced tea. You can put it in smoothies. I mean, it's really the sky's the limit. You can bake with it.
And you got, of course, you can't have a margarita without salt in the glass. I just don't like margaritas without any salt. You got to make sure you salt it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really brightens up the cocktail, and it makes all the ingredients really shine. And salt has always been one of my favorite ingredients in anything that we do. My mom can attest to that too. She loves it.
So there you go. Easy enough. Shake and it's ready to go with the margarita. And those will be served in full spectrum on every day, as well as Cinco de Mayo as well, right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We're going to have fun things out in the parking lot party, like the drink bags and cocktail buckets. We'll be making cocktails inside of Topo Chico bottles. We're going to get as creative as possible to be as environmentally friendly as possible when we're using all of our vessels.
Now, okay, tell us the difference between a margarita and a paloma.
Okay, so a margarita is going to be made with tequila, just like a paloma will be, but a paloma is going to have grapefruit juice. Instead of just lime juice, it's going to have grapefruit juice and lime juice in our recipe.
Okay, all right. So do you have one of those available to start with?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and decorate the glass. I like
what
my
do you
paloma,
use on that?
I like my paloma with a little bit of chamoy and tahini on the side. And chamoy is really like chili citrusy syrup.
Okay.
And tahini is more of like a dehydrated lime and chili salt.
Okay.
So it's going to add a little bit of kick to your cocktail, but we like to put it on the side of the glass so it doesn't get inside of the drink. And to build this one, we're going to go ahead and take a ½ ounce of Giffard Pamplemousse. I like using a grapefruit liqueur in our palomas as well as tequila, because with this one especially, it's to me it tastes like breakfast in a bottle.
That's a good endorsement. Hey, the breakfast is there.
The flavor profile on this is so natural. I love working with their products. It's always super clean and delicious. So we're going to put a ½ ounce of that and an ounce, wrong tequila. We're going to use a Reposado tequila. Today we're using Hornitos. And we're going to go ahead and put an ounce of that.
Now, do you use the grapefruit liqueur instead of I guess that would be the extra liquor. I think in a margarita, you would use triple sec or something along those lines.
I guess you could say that that would be in place of the Cointreau. And, I hadn't even thought about it like that before, but yes.
Okay.
So you're going to put an ounce and a half of fresh grapefruit juice. And because that liqueur has a little bit higher sugar content, we don't put any additional sugar in the cocktail. Okay.
So you don't need to add agave to that as well.
You don't need to add agave because the last component of the cocktail is going to be a grapefruit soda. And that's going to add a little bit of sweetness to the drink.
Do you, Palomas seem to be a newer drink on the market. Really something you maybe have heard of in the last 10 years or so. Of course, margaritas were around forever, it seems like. But Paloma, did they just start gaining popularity in the last 10 years or so?
I think so. Cocktails kind of come and go as trends come and go.
Right.
But this has been such a classic showing in Mexico. And honestly, because people have been becoming so much more familiar with where their food comes from or, cooking at home as we went through the pandemic, I believe that a lot of people really got into making signature cocktails in their own home. And this is something that's so easy to do and it tastes delicious.
Incredible. Definitely going to be available on Cinco de Mayo. You guys still do a brunch on weekends as well?
Absolutely. And our Mother's Day brunch is also this Cinco de Mayo weekend. So we're excited to have a big showing a couple of days this week.
It's going to be a big week for you guys with Cinco de Mayo and Mother's Day. Do you suggest or do you take reservations for like Mother's Day or weekends or anything like that?
Absolutely. We just changed over to Resi reservation systems and we've been loving it. It's a great platform. You can find all kinds of like signature events with us and with other restaurants. So we love to use them.
So definitely make a reservation if you wish to attend this weekend. Thank you so much for being here, Monica. We appreciate you joining us on the show. Monica Richards is Chief Marketing Officer and Beverage Director of Arnaldo Richards Picos. Thanks for being here. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to move on, and I'm going to turn things over to Dr. Tony. Tony, by the way, you are not allowed to have, we're at HCC, we're not allowed really to have palomas and margaritas until after we get off of work. So don't get any ideas. Not for lunch, okay?
Okay, not for lunch.
No liquid lunch.
But definitely tonight I can do that.
You can. Enjoy them as you wish in your own time.
Thank you, because boy, that sounds good.
I know you've got a very special guest.
Yes, we do. We have a very special guest, Katherine Rhodes Fields, a very good friend of mine. She's Division Chair of Visual Arts for the Media, Visual, and Performing Arts COE, or Center of Excellence. And welcome to the show, Katherine.
Thank you, Tony. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Well, you've got something very special to show us. I mean, I think we're all familiar with art galleries, but what you have is a VR art gallery, virtual reality. Tell us about that. That sounds very interesting.
Well, yeah, we are so excited in the visual arts program to announce that we will have one more gallery added to our galleries across the entire system of HCC. And that is a virtual reality or virtual spaces gallery that is curated by our faculty who teach VR in their courses. And this was originally to meet the needs of our online instruction courses, as well as the needs for our digital media programs to expose the students to the curriculum of virtual reality. But what we decided to do was to use the space as an additional exhibition space, because this is the trend in the way that artists are presenting their works. And it also makes it more available and more accessible to many other people who can't actually make it to a physical location. So it's kind of us thinking about where we are in this conversation of the virtual world and how we can expose our students to other viewers to see what we're doing in our program, how successful our students are in our program. And so the way that we initiated this was Nathan Doobie, who is a full-time professor for us. He teaches graphic design and digital media primarily at the Cathy campus, and also at Stafford. He teaches digital photography at Stafford. But that being said, what he did is he developed a virtual space that's based on a 3D rendering of our existing gallery spaces across the system. So it's actually all the gallery spaces merged into one, or we're going to get there eventually. I believe it's 3 right now. And what we're doing is we're placing the students' artwork in this space and hosting a student show this semester. With the idea is that moving forward, this would continue to be an additional gallery space and would be treated and supported just like our other our other visual gallery spaces. Sorry about that. A little tongue-tied there, visual and virtual.
Let me ask, this is just so interesting to me. And I think that is wonderful because those of us who can't always make it to an art gallery, you can see it at home on your own PC, Mac, whatever. But my question is now, is it live? In other words, is the camera looking at the, well, maybe live is not the right word, but was the camera shot inside of the art gallery with all the art up, or is that digitally put in?
Yeah. So what we did, sure. So the process was that Professor Doobie went into the actual galleries when they were empty, and he scanned the rooms, and then he created a virtual space that was similar to the physical galleries. And then we asked the students to submit their images using the Canvas, right? So Canvas is our LMS, for those of you that don't know. It's our learning management system that we use for our online teaching. But every course has access to Canvas. So we asked students to send a digital image of the work they're submitting to the student show. And also to just know that we use that as a teachable moment as well. We showed students how to document their work properly digitally. So, and again, that's another layer of support for our students to be successful outside of school when they become professional artists. But anyway, I digress. So now going back to that. So then what we did is we collected all of those images we capture that in Canvas using a 365 form. So we're using all the processes that HCCs provide for us, and our IT department so wonderfully provide for us. So we're utilizing all of that. And then we are then putting the images there. So would it be helpful for me to go ahead and show you?
Please show us. I just think this is fascinating.
Absolutely.
She's going to share her screen with us so that we can see what this is all about. Go ahead. Tell us what you got there.
Yeah. So this is what all anyone needs to do is just have access to the link, right? Or go into the URL, and then it'll take you directly into this. Now, you don't actually, what's great about this particular program, which is called Wanda Spaces, WONDA, Wanda Space VR, is that you don't actually have to have an Oculus goggles or VR goggles. You can actually just look at it from your computer screen. But if you want to interact with it with VR, it's a very different experience. But here today, I'm just going to share it with you as if someone were looking at it on a computer screen. But it's interactive with the viewer. So all you need to do with your cursor, I don't know if you can see my cursor, is you just here is the information. You just click on the floor. You can see the circle. It brings us there. And then you can move around by moving your mouse around. And so here, you just step here. And then now we're going to enter into the gallery. So you can get an idea about, so it's very similar to walking into an art gallery at one of our campuses. But you can also as you just move your mouse, you can move around, you can see. So here is the announcement of all of the winners. So our student shows are actually juried by professional artists or curators that live and work in the Houston area. And so here we have the winners, and they're also noted in color on the wall. So these are the winners. This is the exhibition for our online courses that are being taught. And so as you walk in, you just click here. And if you want to go look at a work on the wall, you can just click here, and then you just turn to look at it, which is really fun. You can just move around and toggle through. So here you're having this experience. But what's also really great about Wanda VR is that if you have an account, you can actually log in. And for instance, if Professor Doobie saw that I was in the gallery, he could log in and join me in the gallery. And we would have little images of ourselves that we've created in Wanda, and he and I could interact and work together in this space. So this Wanda VR is working for us as an exhibition space for people to interact with kind of from home, but it's also a space where our students can interact with an instructor. So if an instructor wants to take his entire class or her class into here, they could, and they could actually implement a lesson or have a critique in the virtual space over the computer, which is just so unbelievably exciting for us as another dimension of teaching and learning, right? To me, it just supports so much accessibility. So it's very exciting. And also, too, if a parent doesn't live in Texas and can't come to the student show, the parent or friend can log in and see the work that the student's done. So for me, it just really kind of transcends what we have been able to do. And we're really looking at the positive side of how to take this technology and make it really support the creative endeavors of our students and our faculty.
I think it's great. And do you think this would have came about as quickly if we didn't have the pandemic? Just a philosophical question there.
Philosophically, I don't think it would have come about as quickly, but do know that in 2016, I was implementing, along with Professor Benny Ansel, she and I were implementing VR technologies. I was implementing it into my drawing class, which was an in-person class. It was not an online class. And she was implementing it into her digital media with Ruben Duran when he first introduced VR to Central Campus. So I think that we would have naturally progressed in this direction because of our curiosity about how to best support in meeting our students where they are in terms of how they're developing the technology outside of a traditional art studio. I think we would have met them there, but I don't think that the technology outside of our interest and curiosity would have developed as quickly. But we're pleased for it and we're keeping up with it. Yeah.
That is absolutely wonderful. I just think it's very neat. Future things. What are the future things you're thinking? And how'd you come up with Wanda? Is that just a particular name of a software or what?
It is. Yeah. It's not anything that we created. This is outside. This is a software program that's outside of HCC, but we've used it and incorporated it into our curriculum, just like we would use a pencil or a pen or a paintbrush. We're using Wanda as another means of layering a creative opportunity for our students. It's just part of our toolkit, so to speak, for students to have a creative experience.
I think this is so exciting. And, I teach drama, so we've been doing some creative things with that. But looking at what you guys are doing in art, wow. Yeah. Excellent job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony. Well, one thing I wanted to add too is that we in the visual arts, because we are all over the system, we constantly try to create opportunities to show everyone that we are part of the pillar of the institution of being one college. So having this virtual space allows us to bring all of our students into one space, just like we do with our Instagram show, to really support that idea that we are all HCC.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome,
and sharing
Tony.
Your screen and showing us all that wonderful stuff.
Of course. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it's good that we got a chance to see that because our students can show their art virtually. And it certainly looks just like you're getting immersed in a video game.
Yes, it does.
It really does. And cool stuff. All right. We'll have a link to that in our social media posts where you can take a look at it. Let's see some news events in announcement. They're having an Apple workshop. HCC is hosting a free Apple workshop for all students, staff, and faculty to introduce the Apple operating system and how it works with a Mac computer and iPad device. Coming up are noon to 2 p.m. Wednesday, May the 4th. That's tomorrow, the day before Cinco de Mayo, I might add. And then noon to 2 p.m. Friday, May 6th. The day after Cinco de Mayo, I might add.
Everything goes around the Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, they didn't schedule it on Cinco de Mayo. I think they figured everybody would be getting some tacos and tequila. But anyway,
very smart.
HCC at Picos, yeah. HCC's Acre Homes campus is the first location on Wednesday. The second location on Friday is the HCC Felix Fraga campus. Registration's encouraged. We'll have a link in our social media post where you can register. Admission information sessions, those are coming up too, Tony.
Yes, you can enroll in another place here. HCC wants to help students take the next step during virtual afternoon and evening information sessions. So you can register now. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays in May, and it's free. So that's very good because that way you learn a little bit about sometimes registering and getting admitting and all that kind of stuff can be kind of complicated or seem complicated, but we can make it easy for you.
Okay, after you've had your fill of tacos and great food on Cinco de Mayo, you can head on over to the Heinlein Theater, 7:30 p.m. Thursday, May the 5th, because they're having an evening of student ensembles featuring the concert choir directed by Dr. Andrew Briggs, chamber singers directed by Kamala Ross, and 2 jazz ensembles directed by Dr. Joel Love, the Dr. Love. And yes, he's been on the show. And yes, he does go by. They call him Dr. Love. Anyway,
Yes.
also Joe
And Joe
Locasio.
Locasio.
Yeah, we'll be joining him as well. That's for the jazz ensembles. 7:30 p.m. Thursday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. It is free. It's at the Heinen Theater at HCC Central Campus. Registration's also encouraged for this event as well. We'll put some information in our post after the show. And the DEI professional development training is ongoing, Tony.
Dr. Donna Davis, DEI officer, is hosting a May WebEx professional development training and certificate program series with both morning and afternoon sessions. And it's called Change Agency and Allyship. And if you don't know what all that is, go to the sessions and you'll find out.
Right.
There's a morning session, 10:30 a.m. to noon, Monday, May 16th. And then also in the afternoon, the same day from 2:30 to 4 p.m. And it's WebEx. So you don't even have to leave your home to go join it.
Okay, HCC's Material Science and Smart Manufacturing Center of Excellence is offering a summer camp aimed at introducing high school juniors and seniors to the basics of computer-aided design, plasma cutting, and the role of robotic instrumentation. It's happening June the 6th through 10th at HCC's Southwest Stafford campus. If you'd like to register your kids, we'll have some information how to do so after the show. And fall registration is underway. That's right. You can register now for fall classes here at HCC. Make sure you do so early. Don't wait until the last minute. Get the class of your choice, the campus you want, the time, or if you want to schedule them virtually, you can do all that now. Go to hccs.edu/apply. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to be talking about the upcoming Foundation Gala, Tony.
Yes, the co-chairs of the HCC Foundation Gala are Ryan and Jessica McCauley, and they'll be here to talk about the event. And, you know, the event is featuring Mattress Mac, so that's going to be fun.
Yes, it's going to be a great event. And they're back in person this year. They're very excited about that after 2 years of being virtual. It's also Gaming Wednesday, and we'll talk about the upcoming anime convention and think Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. That's just for starters. Special guest joining us there. That wraps up Tuesday. Tony, we'll see you next week.
Yes, you'll see me next week. I'm going to try to take my granddaughter to the anime thing. That's one of the things she absolutely loves.
Oh, well, that's happening. So you can learn all about it tomorrow. All right, folks, we'll see all of you tomorrow morning live right here, 10 a.m. for Up to the Minute.